So I'm calling this piece God's Doors Are Open to All, which is one of OLUMC's mantras. When I started the design process, Mara gave me some intentions to focus on: diversity, equality, love, caring for people who have been marginalized, and finally, restoring dignity. Ultimately, I came back to our church's mission statement. I wanted the mural to represent a welcoming of people of all ages, all races, all abilities, all circumstances, all sexualities, and all gender identities. I just wanted everyone who saw it to see a piece of themselves represented, whether they could directly relate to the people who have been painted, or even just the little elements. So first, I started with our Savior. Nobody knows exactly what Jesus looks like because his appearance isn't really described in the Bible. But he was born in northern Israel, so I know he wasn't white. I wanted it to be very clear that the Jesus a lot of people have in their head is not accurate to who he was. And then sitting behind his shoulder, we have a man holding a baby. I did this because there are so many different ways to bring children up, and I think that they are all valid as long as children are raised in love and taught to love one another. Above them, we have a Muslim woman wearing a hijab because I wanted different faiths to be represented. And in keeping with that, straight across from her on the right side of the mural, you'll find a Jewish man wearing a kippah. Next, we have a protester above a black woman. This is a critical time in our nation, and I think as Christians we need to be allies and advocates for human rights and equality. And to the far left, there is a trans woman of color, which is a nod to my community and the women who built it. Next to her, there is a woman who uses a wheelchair, because everybody has different abilities and they all need to be represented. Now moving on to the right side of the mural, we start with Rosie the Riveter. I wanted to make a very obvious interpretation of women and women's rights. Next to Rosie, there is an indigenous woman to pay respect to the people who were here before we were. And then there's this sort of indiscriminate bald person. The thought was that many men, women, and non-binary people wear baldness for all different reasons. Whether it be health-related or an expression of identity, I thought this person was just an all-encompassing, relatable figure. Finally, we have an elderly woman and a soldier. Regardless of what's happening in the world, I think we should always pay respects to the people who have come before us and to the people who make sacrifices for us. So I could not fit every single human being into this mural, but I hope everybody who sees it can see something that they relate to. I hope everybody who sees it knows that they are loved and accepted by God, because God's doors are truly open to all. I really believe that, and that's why OLUMC is my church. It was an absolute honor to do this. I just want to thank Mara and thank you, OLUMC. I love you so much.